Bom dia.
Bom dia, sejam muito bem-vindos a mais um congresso anual da APDC, a associação que reúne as empresas tecnológicas de telecomunicações e dos média. Este congresso que é o momento alto para os profissionais das áreas digitais e este ano, num ano especial, o mote, João, tinha de ser este: Futurizing, vamos olhar para o futuro. Teremos convidados nacionais, internacionais e discussões que serão do seu interesse, do interesse da sua empresa e, claro, do interesse do país. Das inovações tecnológicas à cibersegurança e da gigante influência da inteligência artificial até à regulação e ao enquadramento legal desta tecnologia.
É isso mesmo, e este é um ano especial. 40 anos da APDC. Devo dizer que tem sido um privilégio acompanhar estes congressos ao longo destes últimos anos, e este ano, quando a APDC faz 40 anos, é também tempo de olhar para 4 décadas em que esta associação ajudou na discussão e até na evolução de todas as áreas tecnológicas, e por isso mesmo é um congresso especial. Este é o modelo que temos utilizado nos últimos anos, é um modelo com presença aqui, neste local onde nos encontramos, mas também de forma virtual. Há muita gente, esperamos nós, a acompanhar-nos streaming em Portugal e fora de Portugal, por isso temos, se quiserem, podem fazer o download da aplicação deste congresso. Temos, dizia eu, também um acompanhamento em inglês e em língua gestual deste congresso. Já sem demoras, vamos então olhar para o futuro. Como se sabe, já estamos nesta grande revolução tecnológica que é a inteligência artificial. O que é isto? É bom? É mau? Desafios? Como vamos olhar para ela? Como vamos viver com ela? É isso que vamos fazer. Arrancamos este congresso da APDC nestes 40 anos e, como é habitual, vou chamar o Rogério Carapuço, o presidente da APDC, para dar arranque aos trabalhos. Bem-vindos e até já.
Senhora Ministra da Juventude e da Modernização, Senhor Presidente do Congresso, caros convidados, caros colegas, é com muito gosto que vos dou as boas-vindas no nosso Congresso da APDC. É verdade, a APDC faz 40 anos este ano. Há 40 anos nós fomos criados como uma associação de comunicações, mas hoje, ou ao longo dos anos, nós fomos desenvolvendo para ser uma associação de ecossistema, do ecossistema digital, composto por operadores de comunicações, operadores de infraestrutura, operadores de mídia, também por empresas de tecnologia, empresas de consultoria e mais uma série de empresas de outros setores. Estou-me a lembrar dos escritórios de advogados que aderiram à APDC para discutirmos o futuro do ecossistema digital. É essa a nossa missão. Em 1984, a associação foi criada, aliás, como uma associação de profissionais, porque praticamente todas as empresas do setor eram públicas e, portanto, não faria sentido fazer uma associação de empresas todas públicas. E por isso a associação no início foi uma associação de profissionais que depois evoluiu para uma associação empresarial. O país era muito diferente em 1984. Havia televisão a cores há 4 anos, não havia telemóveis, não havia internet, não havia uma série de outras coisas que nós considerávamos essenciais e que o digital nos trouxe. Para pedir uma linha telefónica fixa, que eram as únicas que existiam.
More was the communication media of the sector. a value creation. The state has to contribute being simpler and more efficient, and to contribute to overcome the fact that we're lagging behind. APDC has developed a vision. There were very important advancements in the state itself, with the NIC, and Professor March also is participating in this conference, and she will be addressing other subject, engineer Templario as well. So these advancements were important. What is indeed a fact is when we look at the EU's economic digital indicator, we're below the European Union. That is, we're the first of the last, and we don't want to be the last, one of the last. We want to be one of the first. So the vision we've developed is to be one of the first in the next 8 years. And 8 years, why? Because 2 legislators, and it's enough time for some of the tasks that require some time to develop. And to contribute to this plan, APDC will submit a document which will visit the minister on 6 pillars: sustainable territory, labor functioning, cybersecurity, and others. And since the minister is participating as well, let me mention 2 a modernizing area. The first would be to create the Chief Information Officer of the state. If you want to be more ambitious, the Chief Digital Officer of the state, that is someone that cross-cuttingly is able to coordinate all digitalization, state digitalization policies, because we're always repeating things in different silos, so that we don't do antagonic things in different areas, so that we can make public administration collaborate in at different levels. This systematic determined adoption of the principle of once only, that is, once only. It's a simple principle which the European Commission established per regulation, already enforced in place, and it needs to be complied with. One of the examples given by this principle, it means that the state shouldn't ask citizens and the state information that it already has on them, is that a state department doesn't ask citizen or department has or can supply, deliver, such as the non-debt certificate to Social Security and the tax administration, that one department can ask from. But in some cases, it's the organization itself, it's the public institute requesting information that it already has, either in terms of the infrastructure that exists, such as the National Register of Tax Payers and others, like automobile registration, and they have that information to ask once again for that information. When you have to fill in or fill in a hard copy form, we're going to have to repeat filling in the same information. Why ask for a phone number, location, if the tax identification number already has that information? Why ask for the fuel of a car, a license plate, and so on? So using systematically, that would simplify, take away hundreds of hours for companies and citizens. And this will be our contribution, APD's contribution to governance. And this is our 2024 Congress. The main subject is AI. It will enable the greatest qualitative leap in terms of productivity for mankind, and we need to take advantage of it. Well, technology is here, and to disseminate it, it's important, and that's why we've invited, as Congress Chairman, Professor Lindo Oliveira, that I'd like to thank we wanted to prepare a program, an agenda that would be good, not only for Portugal, but be good for any place in the world. And so we were able to achieve so. And we're celebrating its 40th year. And obviously, there will be sectorial debates, which are traditional ones within our Congress. There will be a slot discussing that document that I've just mentioned, and we'll be listening to experts, and we'll take note of the suggestion. Ministers, we do not claim. We don't claim. We make suggestions, we propose solutions, and then we will discuss them with those governing us. Thank you.
Foi então dado
So the kickoff of this Congress has been given by APDC's President Rogério Carapazuz, that mentioned that it has a Congress chairman who is Professor Limindo Oliveira. Welcome. Minister, APDC President, illustrious guests, good morning, everyone. It's quite a pleasure to participate. And let me thank APDC's board to address this invitation. This chairmanship is an honor along the lines that that had nothing to do with the organization itself. I made some suggestions, and I'd like to thank its organization and thank the executive members. It's quite an honor. I'd like to thank this invitation once again. There are many people in Portugal, fortunately, that work on AI. Plenty of scientists, renowned scientists working with AI, hundreds, thousands of professionals which are very competent. Maybe my name is more visible than others, but they could have invited them as well. And also invited someone that understands telecommunication, which is not really my case. And Rogério insisted by inviting me, and I'd like to thank the invitation. And this subject is a fascinating one. This theme has been fascinating for the scientific committee. It emerged not too long ago in the public perception with this intensity a year and a half ago. But AI has been fascinated the scientific community for more than 60 years. To program computers to be intelligent is fascinating, very difficult, and has been still very difficult, but we've had a recent developments which make a difference. And what are these differences? What are these developments? There's a phrase that you've heard often, which was mentioned by a well-known software investor. Everything is investing itself on mobile phones and computers and AI existing software. So the software is disappearing and eaten by AI, and this machine learning ate AI. So it results from a fundamental idea that machine learning, it's possible to train computers with data, train them from experience. And this revolutionary idea led to the last developments of this decade, and the most visible one in the last years more. And why is AI such a revolution? Because in practice, we were able to no longer program computers in a rigid way, and now in an informal way. As we dialogue with people, AI can be seen as a new internet operative system. Instead of programming rigidly complicated interface, we program in a natural language, and then these topics describe software, database interfaces, and that is why AI is a revolution, not only to have a chat box that we can speak in a convincing way. It's because AI is going to become in practice an internet operative system, will revolutionize deeply the way we work with IT system, how we access the internet, and how we access the information on the internet. I'm going to use 1 or 2 minutes to try to mention why we're at the beginning of this revolution. We're at its onset. At this moment, everyone's familiar with the language models to generate statistical text responses, but less people know that with this quick revolution over these years, with these algorithms, the multimodal integration, text with image, with video, with sound, all this integration will improve in a dramatic way the internal representation or quality of these models, and will enable that these models do things that until now were unthinkable. 1 or 2 days ago, a new OpenAI system, ChatGPT 4.1, integrating this type of information with which limitation that still exists to these models, with which we can inform, speak, show images, video, speak in real time, and so on. So this deeply transformational system that we dialogue instruct the same way as we do human being. This will be an operative change. If we want to speak to a lawyer, we're going to speak to a system interacting with database. If we want to speak with an accountant, a doctor, GP. So this will be a deep revolution. What does this have to do with communication? It has to do all because it's our interface with the internet, the way we access the internet. More or less, it converged towards this device we have in our pocket, or in our bags, or in our purses. There's an interesting question. Is it still going to be our only interface mechanism with the internet? iPhone 35, but not many changes. This is fascinating answer that I haven't yet any. It's a fascinating question, not any. There is no answer. That is from virtual reality, augmented reality, computer interfaces enabling to have a more advanced interface and so on. These are, this is the unknown. These are questions that can be raised in the future. And I think, and as Zuckerberg has says, I think no one really knows what will be the revolutionary technology in the next 10 years. We know that AI is not a future technology. It's a technology in the present and will deeply change society. And the impacts will be significant. We're going to be hearing today several people from different impacts. There are regulatory impacts, economic ones, and social as well. And in the economy, clearly, there will be a society that is intelligent. It's very valuable from an economic point of view. And we have here a former minister of the economy. So most of the value generated in common is generated with intelligence, very not much with physical labor. So 90% is intellectual work. So all this work can be automated in a short future. So we need to think how this automation will change the structures, the society's structure, income in society, the concentration of economic power and influence as well. It will change the labor market and education as well. Many of you have no idea how deeply are the students studying in the first or second year of university, how different it is from those studying in the fifth year of engineering. Those in the first year use Copilot to program, and in the fifth engineering course, they see this as an innovation, which is a bit strange that young people use. So this is quite a rapid change in society, and this will impact our society. So technology is there, but there are many challenges in terms of qualification, thousands of people, and there's quite a challenge, a strange challenge that I was speaking about and before my presentation. We live in a world where we're able to speak with intelligent systems and natural language, but we risk going to another site, filling in information, and we're not able to fill in it because the system doesn't respond, or it's not, or data is invalid. So the data integration is a greater challenge. An adequate integration of information management, and then put AI on top of it. This is paradoxical for those managing companies, institutions. It's paradoxical that at this moment the challenges to integrate information in a transparent way are greater. These challenges are greater than running sophisticated models on top of that information at either database and so on. This is quite an enormous challenge for the country, and we have an organizational one as well as education. Above all, central, that was mentioned, the country is becoming more and more productive. That is, all Portuguese tend to have to produce more. This is the essential reason for our challenges and the fact of not being a more developed country and becoming more productive. AI can help a bit, but by itself, technology won't be able to do it. It's an organizational issue. It's a challenge for all. So this is the challenge I'd like to leave you with. And I'm going to thank the APDC's presence, invitation, and I hope you enjoy the agenda that was prepared. I gave some suggestions, and I hope that you can leave this day with new ideas, and I hope you do have fun, that you enjoy yourself.
Fica então dado o mote.
So we've already got the motto, we know where we're going and what we're going to discuss, and so it's up to the entrepreneurs, the professors, scientists, but also up to the political and legislative power. And so now we have to know exactly what this power is going to do in order to help in this technological advancement. So I'd like to call Margarida Balseiro Lopes, the Minister of Youth and Modernization, to the floor. We've got time. Morning. President of the APDC, Dr. José Carapuça, the President of the Congress, Darlinda Oliveira, ladies and gentlemen. So throughout the last 40 years, APDC has played a very important role in the development of communication technologies in Portugal. Since its foundation in 1998, APDC has been a fundamental act in the promotion of innovation, technological innovation, actively contributing to the creation of a legal and regulatory framework which will promote investment and guarantee a healthy, competitive competition. And so this has all helped to drive knowledge and the technological competences of the Portuguese, but not only. I would also like to point out the very important role of this association in the promotion and participation of Portugal in fora and international fora and organizations, which have significantly contributed to the international projection of Portugal in the sector of communications. So, in the last 40 years, we have seen remarkable progress of the information and communication technologies. This progress, which was driven by the work of PDC. And so I'd like to point out to the digitalization of telephone links, the liberalization of the communication sector, the appearance of the first private TV channel, the start of the internet, cable TV, and the investment in new generation networks. And all of these advancements have relied on the development and the essential contribution of APDC. Ladies and gentlemen, the digital transition represents a huge opportunity, and we are witnessing a transformation, unprecedented transformation with the way we interact with technology and with the world around us. New ways of working, learning, communicating, especially living. And this scenario has fertile ground for economic growth and for the substantial improvement of the quality of life. However, we have to recognize that technology does not exist on its own and for itself, but in close connection with people and for them and with them. And so we cannot take advantage of this unique opportunity which this technological solution offers. The way we keep on moving towards the future. And with this, we have a responsibility to guarantee that the benefits of the digital transformation will be distributed in a fair manner. It is our obligation to build a digital future and accessible to all those who each one can take advantage of the opportunities provided by technology. The topic of Digital Business Congress this year reflects 4 decades of commitment of APDC, 4 decades of the recognition of technology as a tool to bring forward equality and bring about equality and for progress in the digital era. And of course, we must talk about the digital transition. It depends on each one of us to make sure that this transition is done in a fair and inclusive manner. In this context, the European Union has been led by example, insisting on the creation of an ecosystem of strategies and policies which are across the board to reinforce competitiveness and the digital sovereignty of the European continent. And this is a compromise of all member states, and there's a compromise with the future and the recognition of technology as an instrument, an essential instrument for the development and social cohesion. The European Union has shown a firm commitment with the promotion of the single digital market and with the ability of companies. And so this sort of reflects the fundamental values of the European Union and its values. And we must create a true public space, digital public space, which is so the public space will be based on the human being. And the digital decade will be focused on all member states and will be aimed at creating a specific goals for 2030. And here we have between 10% of people between 16 and 44 years old with basic digital competences, 20 million specialists in TIC working in the European Union, reinforcing the access of women to these careers. 75% of companies in the European Union with at least one of the 5 elements, artificial intelligence, big data, etc., and some 20% of small SMEs with digital basic knowledge, and some will be electronically tested, and 100% the access of 5G networks for all areas populated. And so the success of the digital era will be crucial for the prosperity of the European Union. Now, by implementing this decade, this agenda, we can have 4.5 billion euros, which is about which represents 21% of the European Union economy today. And so Portugal has the responsibility of contributing to the fulfillment of the targets. And so within this context, the commitment of this government is clear to implement a national strategy for digital with well-defined objectives, quantitative goals, and an action plan that will implement the success of the digital transition until 2030. One step has already been given with the modernization and the digitalization of the ministry, recognizing these areas as fundamental for the future of the country. We need a strategy that is overwhelming and only in this way can we increase the success rate of the GDP. We have to go further. The orientation of Portugal it must follow 4 essential pillars, that is people's competences, the digital transformation of companies, the digitalization of public services, safe digital infrastructures, and sustainable. And this commitment will reflect the ambition of Portugal in contributing to the targets carried out in Europe, and and in this way we will be able to face the challenges of the digital area. We would like to build a society that is ready for the digital future. We want to be a country of reference in the digital area by giving all citizens with essential digital skills and giving special attention to women and their careers in the areas of sciences and technologies. A company that has specialists in key areas of digital and guarantees the professional requalification. A country that protects the most vulnerable age groups and guarantee a safe and conscious use of the internet. And we want Portugal to become an attractive and competitive country for businesses and companies. We want sustainable innovation. We want to have a competitive company, a country that is based on digital, that stimulates the creation of startups and finances for the digital transformation of SMEs. So in terms of the state, we want efficient public administration, innovative public administration, and focused on the citizen and companies. And we want automatic digital services. In addition to this, we want to promote an ecosystem in the public powers, exploring what is essential of data. Finally, infrastructures and accelerators play an essential role in our digital strategy. We want a country that is agile and connected, that accompanies the strategies, national strategies, and in line with the application of the Portuguese European rules. We want to be a company that promotes the development of assured, safe solutions. At the same time, we want to try and build a digital infrastructure that is resilient and globally connected, placing Portugal as a hub of digital innovation on an international level. The commitment of this government with digital transformation is clear. We are determined to build a prosperous future, more digital and dynamic, where everybody, companies and the state, are ready to face the challenges and take advantage of the opportunities of the digital era, and to guarantee the success of the execution of this national strategy, the Digital 2030. We have to not only enhance Portugal 2030 and take advantage of the almost 40 billion euros for digital innovation projects and digital projects, and through a robust model of governance. And we have to help develop all the promoters and relevant stakeholders. Many of them are here in this room, ladies and gentlemen. We need to promote technological development in Portugal. We have to encourage participation between academia, startups, and companies. We want to the state leads this through example, and by promoting technological advance. But we must guarantee that peoples are truly in the center of all our initiatives. And it is through the collaboration, innovation, and the continuous investment in the digital sector, that we can build a better future for all citizens. Together, we are shaping a stronger world and better ready for the challenges of the 21st century. Thank you very much.
Ministra Margarida Balseiro Lopes, da Modernização.
Margarida Balseiro Lopes, showing the scenario of Portugal in terms of the digital. And so this year, the President of the Republic couldn't be here with us, and I sent a letter addressed to the President of the APDC, who's now going to read this message. A message of His Excellency, the President of the Republic. And participants, I would like to congratulate APDC and the person of its President, Rogério Carapuça, for your 40 years of activity. For the area of our society that has suffered the greatest transformation in recent decades is no doubt the sector of communications. Without your commitment in this extraordinary evolution in infrastructure technology, this would not have been possible. The youngsters, they do not imagine living can't imagine living with two TV channels without mobile phones or computers or internet. And even if you wanted to, for example, if somebody had decided to live on the other side of the Atlantic, to ask an operator, Radio Marconi, in order to make a phone call, or in terms of using GPS to go on a trip, they would have to use a map, paper. And this was happened 40 years ago when APDC started. Everything is different. So it's enough for us to think that during the pandemic, because of video calls have become possible, and we had meetings and we had lessons and everything. And this was opened up to schools and economy and society. So the topic of your conference is very apt. So in these last 40 years, the sector of communications had taken one step further. And today we're in the future that was prepared and developed by you. But the future is always changing, and your role is absolutely essential. We have to discuss the future of digital, the future of artificial intelligence, which has just arrived, but it also makes us to think of so many opportunities and challenges of the present and the future of innovation, technology, of our economy, and of our democracies and our societies. Artificial intelligence is bringing opportunities to the world that is in every area of our lives. And so education, health, or infrastructures, but it also has its challenges. That is to guarantee information and the risk of disinformation, which affects the quality of democracies and the ethical limits that we have to impose on it. And so in the social dimension, we mustn't forget the asymmetries that still exist. Personal asymmetries, functional asymmetries, and territorial asymmetries. We cannot forget that we have an aging population that doesn't use the digital as its normal means of communication with others. We have to think of how to reach everybody, the youngest, the oldest, those who live in the cities, those who live in remote areas. And so by overcoming inequalities, and we must make sure the social progress for everyone. And I hope that your discussions will be very fruitful and will allow for Portugal to take advantage of its position and its information technology. And we hope that it will gain scale in companies without gaining territorial cohesion and reinforcing solidarity with those who are in for excluded. Myself,